an effective weapon. Ah! Hurt. Hey, how's it going? Welcome to an analysis / guest theory video thing. My name is Brian of Chamber of the Wraith, and today we're talking Jurassic World, baby. See, Jurassic World Evolution just had its first kind of major splurge of information over at Frontier Expo in the UK. And with that, what came as a result is that we got quite a bit of information to digest. We've got a lot of things about how you're going to build your park, a 3-tier system that's like entertainment and security and science and all of this crazy stuff that is going on. But I've decided I want to take this time to kind of focus, instead of like aggregating all of the information into one spot, which a lot of places have already done. That'll be easy to do. Instead, I'm going to give my guesses as to some of the creatures that you may be able to get in this game. Because as you can see from this screenshot of all of the dig sites that you can go to, there's a lot of them. So there's a lot in North America, you've got plenty in Africa and Asia, but we're going to today focus on the one dig site in South America and the dig site in Madagascar, because those two places are very obscure places to find some dinosaurs. There are many great findings there, just not a lot of people know about the dinosaurs from those areas. So I'm gonna take a guess at what dinosaurs / prehistoric creatures could be showing up in one way or another in Jurassic World Evolution from, at least for today, Argentina and Madagascar. This is going to be one hell of a ride. We're starting off with Argentina, because this place has a lot of cool dinosaurs to be found there. A lot of the dinosaurs that I've chosen are mainly sauropods, the long-necked dinosaurs that comprised of creatures like Brachiosaurus and Apatosaurus, as well as Brontosaurus. But some of the creatures here are simultaneously some of the smallest mainland sauropods ever to have evolved, and what at one point was considered the biggest land animal ever. So we're going to start with the big boy, Argentinosaurus. This creature can grow up to 35 meters long, which for you empirically inclined folks is 115 feet in length and weigh up to 75 tons. This is, without a shadow of a doubt, one of the largest land animals that has ever existed. And imagine how crazy it would be if you unlock the ability to have your own walking building of a dinosaur. Seriously, this thing is probably big enough to basically stack a whole warehouse by itself with how much meat it's got. And then on the smaller end, you have Saltosaurus, the first sauropod dinosaur to have armor. It's these big bony plates that it has in its skin that are rock hard, so that predators, like what we're going to talk about momentarily, cannot really get a good bite into Saltosaurus. Which makes sense, because Saltosaurus is about a third of the size of Argentinosaurus, or up to 45 feet long. This is a pretty small dino. And then, well, relatively speaking, for sauropod's sakes. And then we have Amargasaurus, which is one of my personal favorite dinosaurs out there. Now, reconstructionists debate about whether the creature had spines all along its neck, or those formed a kind of double sail of sorts. I personally lean towards the double sail idea because spikes just don't strike me as a good display feature. But hey, I could be wrong. And knowing Jurassic Park or Jurassic World, they'll probably just go with the most flamboyant and spectacular, which means double sails. Next up, we have one of the largest predators to have ever walked the earth. Argentina was truly a land of giants, and one of them was Giganotosaurus. This is a predator bigger than T-Rex, truly a massive predator. It has relations to Allosaurus and Carcharodontosaurus, but this creature may have hunted in packs to attack Argentinosaurus, the largest animal in the area, alongside another large carnivore, Mapusaurus, which I don't have images for, but frankly, Gigantopithecus is probably the one that's going to make it in because he's the bigger boy out of South America. And that's basically it. Those are some of the dinosaurs that you could probably expect from over in Argentina. Now we gotta move to Madagascar. Madagascar, even in the time of the dinosaurs, was an island. And islands tend to breed some interesting critters. For instance, Masiakasaurus, which has one of the weirdest dental jobs out of any dinosaur that has ever existed. This small predator probably ate fish and small reptiles, and would have probably hung around near rivers and lakes, which, looking at those teeth, it kind of makes sense. They are shaped in a way that allows them to catch prey and make sure they're not going anywhere. A nice, unique, obscure, fairly ugly small predator that could be used for Jurassic World exhibits. Then we have the top predator of the island, an abelisaur by the name of Majungasaurus. Formerly, it was actually known as Majungatholus. I only bring that up because Majungatholus is way more fun to say. Anyway, what is an abelisaur? If you're curious, it's a kind of carnivorous dinosaur that mainly lived in the southern continents, and Majungasaurus is in that group. They were about the size of Allosaurus, if not slightly larger, and they were the only known big predators on the island, preying on whatever they wanted, including each other. There was a fossil of Majungasaurus discovered that was the first known evidence of cannibalism in the dinosaur world. Now, we assume that predators probably preyed on each other on occasion because lions do it today. But Majungasaurus was the first proof that, yep, sometimes dinosaurs ate each other. Now, despite being an island, Madagascar had a pretty large sauropod in Rapetosaurus. Only known from juvenile remains, the adult size is really more of an estimate, but it does give you an idea as to how big some of these dinosaurs could have become. And Madagascar is a very mysterious continent when it comes to fossils, and we'll probably find out more as more days are done. Now, these three are the only dinosaurs from Madagascar I could really think of working in Jurassic World the game. There is a small dinosaur called Rahonavis, but Rahonavis is small. It's basically what happens when a raptor and a bird have a baby. It totally looks like a half bird, half dinosaur, and it probably would be way too small to have as a dinosaur in its own right, but maybe it would show up in some sort of like aviary of sorts. Now, bringing that into the equation, there are two creatures that are not dinosaurs from Madagascar that could make interesting Jurassic World attractions. We have Beelzebufo, for one. This is a massive frog, the largest known frog ever. This was a frog big enough to eat baby dinosaurs, and it was believed that it could have actually have had subdermal armor to prevent itself from getting squished by some of the larger dinosaurs in the area, or at the very least prevent it to get chomped on. And another armored mystery is Simosuchus, a 1 meter long crocodile that ate plants and had the face of a pug. This is a very strange creature, and honestly, if they don't throw this guy in, I wouldn't be surprised, but I would love to see just this cute, armored, crocodilian pug munching on the plants of Jurassic World. And now we're going to move on to our final destination for tonight, Australia. Saddle up, mates. We're going down under. And now, for the last set of dinosaurs that we're going to cover today. These bad boys are from Australia, which, as you could see there, was actually got one dig site in Jurassic World Evolution, which I wouldn't be surprised if people actually missed, because it's literally blink and you miss it. What could be on this island? Well, you could have well, what could you have from Australia, rather? You could have creatures like Lielanosaura, a hypsilophodont dinosaur, which was very small and probably lived in an environment that faced fairly cold winters, and is believed to have actually been feathered in order to compensate for that. Another predator, well, it's not a predator, Lielanosaura was a herbivore that would have lived in herds. It would have been kind of like Dryosaurus, but smaller, with a longer tail, and, in my honest opinion, a lot more adorable. And then we have Australovenator. This is a megaraptorid, which, despite the name, it is not related to creatures like Velociraptor or Dromaeosaurus. That big claw was thought to have been on the foot of Megaraptor until a full arm was found, and it turned out that that foot-long claw was on the end of its hand. Australovenator lives in Australia, but is related to a creature from South America, which implies that Australia and South America were connected for longer than expected. Anywho, this large Australian predator would be a very interesting addition to the park. Plus, just look at those claws. This guy means business. And finally, we have Minmi. I think that's how you say that. Minmi? I think it's Minmi. It's a very small nodosaur, which is a relative of Ankylosaurus, minus the club tail, that lived in Australia alongside a nearly identical-looking counterpart, Kunbarasaurus. They were so similar that they were actually mistaken as being members of the same genus for a fairly long time. This little guy would have been basically a walking rock, eating plants wherever it could find them. So having a small, cute relative of Ankylosaurus in Jurassic World, in my opinion, would be pretty interesting. And what better way to represent Australia, because Minmi is Australia's most famous dinosaur fossil. That may change when Australovenator shows up, or whatever, but hey, who's to judge? I hope you enjoyed this little analysis theory video on Jurassic World evolution. What do you guys think? Do you guys think that we're going to be getting any of these dinosaurs and creatures? Do you think there's going to be others? Do we have more on the way that we would be surprised by? Personally, I really hope that we get more news in November featuring other new creatures. That could be awesome. But we have to wait until June for the game to be released, so hopefully it's just slow and steady on the news. I hope you enjoy, and as always, DFCBA. Get your head down. Sorry.